Anyways, I think it happened again. I'd say come back. Are you okay?
What's up, y'all? Flip here, EUC Chronicles, back with another one. This is not a goodie at all. We're just gonna get right into it. So as you see from the title as well as the quick little snippet, we had the most dreaded, the thing that sticks in the back of every EUCer's mind when they go out for a ride. Well, not every single one, depending on what kind of wheel you have, but you know, whatever. The dreaded cutout happened to us on our last group ride that just took place yesterday. We went on a 30+ mile ride up to Amsterdam on the bike trail, and we had some extra people with us, so there was some wheel moving around, you know. So the person who fell, our guy Michael, he was letting his cousin ride his wheel, so James brought his old school veteran Sherman, and this is the veteran Sherman we're talking about, one of the most reliable wheels that's ever been built to my knowledge at the time. And the funny thing about it is that the last group ride we went on, we did kind of the same ride almost. James brought the veteran Sherman to let somebody else use, and the person who he let use just recently, like maybe like less than a year ago, got into a really severe accident, and he was riding the veteran Sherman and he was cooking, especially when we weren't coming back, we were cooking. So it's very funny and strange that on this particular ride that wheel cut out twice. And I'm not going to keep talking real quick. I'm going to jump into the video, play a little bit of what happened, and then we'll start doing the breakdowns and get into what we think happened or what could have caused it. So you guys sit in. This is going to be a longer video than normal, but with good reason. All right, I'll be back in a second. Peace.
You okay?
That makes more sense.
If it makes you feel any better, I might have that on camera.
Oh shit, my fucking thing's recording too, bro. No, it's just recording also.
I was like, his leg's fucked.
Oh, like a fucking anvil out of a tower. What a fucking screen.
No,
Put it through the hole.
Michael, put it through the hole.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be gay bull, I can't tell.
Just put it through the hole.
If you just want to put a Band-Aid on.
I got a sewing kit at home. I don't care about the pants. That's a nice little shiner I got, guys. Mommy kisses.
Michael, still put the Band-Aid on it to keep it.
I got it on both knees, too. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know because... Alright, that's it. We're all going to hold you down and then force you to put the Band-Aid
Put
on.
the fucking Band-Aid on. We're not even asking. That's a fucking order.
Infections aren't a joke. Oh shit, I'm obviously
Don't fucking do that. I was like, wait, what? No, I was like, I'm my knife right here. Take his pants off.
I don't know if those are big enough. So.
Squeal, little pig, squeal.
That's just scared the shit out of you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just said, oh, I'm going down.
All right, let's break this down real quick so you can see what's going on. The person who fell, Michael, is on your left. It's me up front. And the one thing I noticed when I played it back, as you can see in a second, the front headlight goes out, the brake light stays on, and the wheel drops them, which is super strange because you would think both lights would cut off at the same time and then drop them. So it's very strange. We're trying to kind of get down to the bottom of it. Now, in the video that played a little bit before this, when you can kind of just hear us chattering, we also suspected that it was the seat that was sitting kind of loose and kind of like sitting on the buttons. Now we all know that it's really hard when the wheel's in motion. Even if you press the power button, the wheel's not supposed to turn off. But it was just one of those things we all just kind of came to the same conclusion, like, hey, maybe it was the seat and you were sitting on a seat for a long period of time and somehow it just forced the wheel to cut off. That's the only thing we could have came up with at the time. Now, I'm being transparent here. James did have some wires sticking out of the wheel. I think he said it was from like an extra light that he had attached at one point, but the wires were like just cut at the same point. And in my head, I was kind of saying like maybe those wires touched or something like that. Maybe it was some sort of short, because he said it was to a headlight. I'm sure those wires that he had was being routed from the original headlight power. So that's just something I just came up with. Like I said, we have no idea how this happened. But what we do know is after all that went down, Michael was confident enough to ride the wheel again just to take the seat off and keep going. But that's when the second cutout happened. Now, after the first cutout, I'm not gonna hold you, it was kind of like we should probably turn around. We should probably just cancel the ride. And where Michael cut out at originally, as you can see where we're riding, we're not close to the road by any means. Luckily, unluckily, but luckily, that his second cutout, he was much closer to the road that we all kind of just went to the nearest gas station. He walked his wheel to the gas station because obviously couldn't ride it, but we all went to the nearest gas station and we called him an Uber and got him a ride back home. But still, it was one of those things that after the first cutout, we probably should have turned around, because we were probably closer. If we turned back around, we were closer to the road than it was for him to walk to the road after a second cutout, and it probably just was the best idea. And you're gonna hear in the second cutout video when he falls again, Darren, who was recording, who he recorded both falls, he was behind Michael the whole time, he even says in the video like right after the crash, like, all right guys, I think we should, and then he stopped. But I kind of guessing that he was gonna say, hey, we should probably just end the ride, which we probably should have. But we were all excited to ride. We haven't been together in some time, or the group ride this size, and going up to Amsterdam, it is really a fun trip on this bike trail. It's everything. There's, like I said, there's the bike trail, there's extended periods of time when you can ride at 50 miles an hour non-stop, as you can see later in the video, where we're just cooking on the way back. We left the guys, Darren and myself, we left the guys. Everybody else kind of stayed back. And there was also 2 more crashes that night. James had an accident where he almost fell down a flight of steps, and I mean a flight of steps, probably at least 20 flights of steps or so, if not more, because we lost him somehow. And then at the very, very end, the one person who we definitely should not have left behind, which was Michael's cousin, who did not have comms, did not have his telephone, was not familiar with this bike path whatsoever, and somehow, some way, we left him and he ended up crashing. And we had no idea until we see him 10-12 minutes later, after we get back to the meeting point where we're all getting back into our cars. Darren goes, "Who's that?" Because he sees the light coming from the forest. And he's just like, pops up like, "Hey, I crashed." And you can tell he was breathing heavy. You can tell like it was a serious crash, But luckily, he was geared up for the most part, and he landed in grass. So that's why I was telling him, I was like, dude, you're so lucky, like, you landed in grass and not on the asphalt, because it would have took us probably another 10 minutes before we realized he wasn't even with us. And then to go back and backtrack to go find him, he, like I said, no cell phone, no comms. So we kind of all take the blame for that. I mean, it was just everybody's trying to get back. We had such an adventure on the bike trail. We ended up going to one of those highway stops to get food. It was an action-packed day, and with all that already happened with the 2 falls before, it just was what it was. So sorry, I know you guys are here for fall footage. Let me shut up and get to the second crash, and then we'll come right back.
Whoa, fuck! Alright guys, I think it happened again. Oh, it was not a... I'd say come back. Are you okay? It dropped him again. No.
What the fuck is it?
It's in there. Somewhere here. It went into the ditch. Right here.
Bro, what the fuck is up with this wheel?
Yeah, he was not going. We were maybe doing like 15 or 20.
Bro, I just cut out fucking twice.
But again, if you watch the video, you can see the lights went out again, and it's just kind of the same thing all over again. That headlight cuts out, the rear light stays on, and the wheel just drops him. Luckily this time, instead of falling on his knees again, he fell on his ass. Totally shredded his jeans, by the way, holes in both of his pockets and everything. But at least from the first crash, Darren gave him his gloves with the wrist braces in them. So thank goodness for that. You know, shouts to you, Darren, for doing that, because I'm sure that definitely saved his wrist from that second fall, you know. And this is me just pulling up. I was so far ahead when the crash happened. I'm just hearing it on the comm. So I should have put how long or how far I was, because it took me a minute to turn around and get back. And that's just to kind of show you how far Michael had to walk from that point, from here to get to the gas station to call him an Uber. And like I said, if we would have turned around after the first crash, we were a little bit closer to a main road to be able to do that. But it is what it is, man. But it's the strangest thing. And it also brings me back personally to, like, this is another reason why I got an e-bike. And I'm not saying that I'm ever worried about a cutout on my V13. I mean, there's so much technology in there to keep that wheel upright. But it's something like this where it's just like, you can't even put a finger on what caused this cutout. You couldn't say it's the fuse, because if it's the fuse, the wheel wouldn't turn back on after the first cutout. So it's just one of those things where it's like these mystery random cutouts. It just takes all the fun out of the ride altogether. I don't even know how, you know, Mike continued after the first one, like I said, but that boy is a trooper, man, for sure. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man, that it really sits in the back of my mind. And later on in the video, you'll see when you know, when we get off the bike path, that's just one of the favorite parts about riding this bike trail is, you know, we do take the trail up, but there's all these options to get off the trail and hit the main road. And 5S, which is the main road next to us, it's pretty much just an open road. I think the speed limit's 55, 45 or whatever, and there's barely any cars on it all the times that I've been on it, you know, especially at night, especially that night. So we got on that road and we lost our minds. Darren, myself, as well as Anthony, we were cooking. I mean, the whole group was cooking, even though they probably shouldn't have been, but the whole group was cooking. But, you know, whoever has the fastest wheel, you know, they're just gonna take off, you know. And I was saying to Michael, thank God, because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to cook with the rest of us, you know. Michael's a fairly skilled rider, so, you know, he's not afraid of going fast at all. You know, he didn't have knee pads on, elbow pads or anything like that. He just had his helmet, which is also super risky. I was padded up. I was geared up. I had my full body suit, upper body suit on, as well as my knee pads and stuff like that. When I go, especially when I go on rides like this, where I know I'm going to be going fast like that, like anything over 30 miles an hour, I'm geared up. I'm not playing. After my first crash, like I don't play like that, you know what I mean? And that's the one thing I wish, you know, if I knew ahead of time that Michael didn't have any gear, I would have definitely volunteered some of my old gear. I have plenty at the house, spares of everything, spare knee pads, spare elbow pads, everything, you know, so I could definitely would have lent him some, which would have probably made that first cutout a little bit better. But it is what it is, man. But it's just one of those things, man. It's super duper scary, and it really gets me back to my original point of, like, people ask, well, why did you get an e-bike? And I was like, there's so many reasons, but this right here is one of those main reasons. It's just like, it can happen to anyone at any given time. And like I said, it wasn't like it was a fuse or something that was a common thing to make a wheel cut out, over torquing or whatever the case may be. It was none of that. I mean, the kid was going as slow as he possibly could go, and it still cut out on him. So I think on my next trip, I'm bringing an e-bike. I didn't bring the e-bike because I still, like I said, I still want to ride with my wheel. As all my guys are bringing their EUCs, I don't want to be the only jackass there with an e-bike. I didn't know that Dustin was going to show up, and he had his Alien Rides bike, and I told him, I said, if I knew you were coming, I would have brought my bike. At least it would be, you know, then it'll be a little bit different. But, you know, I was saying, even after I got home, I'm just kind of playing everything back, and it's like, man, dude, like right now in this video, we are cooking. Like I hit 51 miles an hour easy on my wheel, like easy at this point. Darren's flying, and I'm saying to myself, and mind you, yeah, I have my wrist braces on. I don't have my gloves on, but falling at that speed, man, it's gonna tear you apart. Like regardless of what you geared up or not, you know, it's just one of those things. Is like, and granted, there's other dangers with riding an e-bike or just being in the road, period. But as you can see, this road 5S, we literally have this road to ourselves. We literally took it from Amsterdam all the way back down to Pattersonville, where kind of like the bike path kind of veers off. So like we kind of have to get back on the bike path. We could have continued to take 5S all the way down, but I drained my battery so much doing 50 miles an hour for so long. Like this whole stretch, we are cooking. Like, so I left Amsterdam with my battery, I think it was 78%, and just stretch alone sagged my battery like 20%, you know. And I remember when I got down to Pattersonville, I was, I think, 55%. So that's how long and how fast we were just going for. So thank God that none of those crashes that happened that night, of the 4 crashes, none of them happened at that speed. The only other thing that happened was James messed his wheels up, because James didn't fall down the steps, but his wheel did. But it suffered minor damage. He broke kind of like there's like the screen protector for his I think it's Sherman L. I don't remember exactly which one he has, but he broke the screen protector, and he said he messed up his kickstand. But aside from that, his wheel was pretty much unscathed. But it like I said, if he didn't stop when he stopped, that would have been a horrible crash for him, and we're so far away from the house. But everybody made it back safe, and it's just one of those things that as a group we have to be a little bit more, you know, on top of everybody and making sure everybody is geared up, especially when we go on these rides like this. And I know it's easy to get, you know, hey, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to put this gear on, but these are the reasons why. So thank you guys for rocking out with me. I will be back with more footage soon. I appreciate everybody commenting and giving me suggestions on my last video. Please leave in the comments what you guys think caused this cutout, and I will see you guys in the next video, probably on an e-bike. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
The same with Beat Saber. I watch people doing the Beat Saber thing.
I used to be really good at it. I just started again, and I'm terrible.
I enjoy it, but I there's no way, like when they start going crazy, I'm just like, all right.
What bothers me about Beat Saber is you got that one girl in a fucking mini skirt fucking playing Beat Saber, and she's racking up fucking millions of views just for her.
It's not because of Beat Saber. It's definitely not because of Beat Saber.
Are you sure? Because it was on YouTube.
She can be playing Miss Pac-Man and she's still gonna rack up.
Yeah.
Thank God I wasn't born with tits.
I don't know. I think I'd be rich.
I'd be for myself on every platform.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
On every platform.
I would be rich.
Here's my pussy and my pussycat. Damn.
We're just saying, if we were women, we'd be whores.
Whores.
For money, it's okay.
No, I'll be a whore.
Yeah. Oh, just
yeah. Just a fucking slut.
Just because he can. All right.
Like, you know, fuck it, just 480.
If money's not involved, it's not okay.
Yeah, no.